Jeopardy! Mayim Bialik reveals secret to coping with Backlash. Mayim Bialik has been called just about every unflattering name in the book by Jeopardy viewers, despite making it clear they can't stand her. Being labeled as the worst host ever hasn't exactly done much damage to the show. In fact, some viewers would argue people are talking about the syndicated game show more than ever before. Moreover, the viewer ratings also don't suggest people are boycotting the show because she's co-hosting with Ken Jennings. Between the chatter on social media and her name plastered all over media headlines, Mayim Bialik is well aware of how Jeopardy fans feel about her. The question is simple. How is the Big Bang Theory alum coping with all the hate? What does she do for the sake of her mental health? According to The Sun, Mayim opened up with her Instagram followers a bit about how she copes with the massive waves of hate. Turns out she has a bit of a weird method to the madness. How does Jeopardy host Mayim Bialik cope with the hate? Mayim Bialik shared a short video clip of herself on her Instagram stories recently. The video clip featured Mayim scrolling through her phone before tilting her screen to snap a screenshot. She explained she was taking screenshots of positive quotes and memes that uplifted her at the moment. Mayim Bialik, however, had something else to admit to those who followed her. She wasn't exactly sure why she was taking screenshots of these positive quotes. She knew these screenshots would proceed to rot in her phone, and she would never look at them again. The loathed Jeopardy host proceeded to ask her followers if they ever find themselves doing the same thing when they come across positive memes or quotes while browsing social media. While she didn't outright confirm this was a coping mechanism for her, her Instagram followers assumed this was a way she calmed her mind amid all the backlash and hate she receives on a regular basis. What is it about Mayim Bialik that viewers of Jeopardy hate so much? More importantly, what do you think about her method of coping with the massive amount of hate she receives? Share your thoughts on her as a host in the comments down below. And keep coming back for more news related to Jeopardy. When Jeopardy first announced that Mayim Bialik would be one of the permanent hosts of the iconic trivia show, the internet ignited with reactions that ranged from applause to apprehension. As the dust settled and episodes aired, one thing became clear. While Bialik brought a distinct style and scholarly presence to the podium, she also inadvertently became a lightning rod for public scrutiny. Now, after nearly 3 years wearing the Jeopardy mantle, the actress, neuroscientist, and author is finally opening up about the secret weapon she uses to navigate Backlash, and it's something far deeper than thick skin. The weight of replacing a legend. To understand the enormity of the spotlight Bialik stepped into, one needs to appreciate what she was inheriting. Alex Trebek wasn't just a game show host, he was a cultural institution. With his poised demeanor, encyclopedic knowledge, and razor-sharp wit, Trebek steered Jeopardy for 36 years, amassing generations of devoted viewers. His passing in November 2020 left a void no one person could easily fill. When Bialik, known to millions as Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory, was selected to co-host alongside Ken Jennings, expectations skyrocketed. But so did the magnifying glass. Social media dissection of her hosting style, her wardrobe choices, vocal cadence, interactions with contestants became a weekly sport. The truth is, nobody can replace Alex, Bialik admitted in a recent in-depth interview with The Hollywood Reporter. But the pressure comes from everywhere, internally, externally, from fans who loved him so deeply. I knew I was stepping into something sacred, and with that comes a lot of opinions. The first wave of criticism. Almost immediately, commentators and viewers offered unsolicited critiques. Some found her formal approach refreshing, a nod to Trebek's intellectual rigor. Others labeled her delivery as stilted or overly academic. A handful even criticized her for smiling too little or too much. It seemed as though every tilt of her head, every phrasing of a clue, was up for debate. It was overwhelming, Bialik confessed. No one prepares you for what it feels like when thousands of people are dissecting your body language or deciding if you're worthy of holding a note card. As someone who spent her formative years in front of cameras, first on Blossom and later in one of television's most popular sitcoms, Bialik was no stranger to public opinion. But, as she explained, Jeopardy! Backlash was a different beast altogether. It's not just fans of a show, it's scholars, trivia enthusiasts, loyalists who've watched with their families for decades. Their standards are sky high. Enter mindfulness and the 3 questions. Rather than let the criticism chip away at her confidence, Bialik turned to a set of tools she says have fundamentally reshaped how she interacts with the world: mindfulness and introspective inquiry. I practice something I call the 3 questions method, she revealed. Whenever I'm faced with criticism, I ask myself, is it true? Is it useful? Is it kind? The method, derived from principles in cognitive behavioral therapy and Buddhism, serves as a mental filter. If a piece of feedback fails to meet at least 2 of those benchmarks, Bialik discards it. For example, someone tweeting that my voice is annoying, well, is that true? That's subjective. Is it useful? No, it doesn't help me improve. Is it kind? Definitely not. So that gets released. This framework, she says, allows her to sift through the noise and retain only the feedback that might genuinely enhance her craft. Grounded by neuroscience, it's no surprise that Bialik's strategy leans on cerebral techniques. Long before she became a sitcom star, she earned a PhD in neuroscience from UCLA. Her research focused on obsessive-compulsive disorder in adolescence, a field that sharpened her understanding of how the brain processes criticism and anxiety. I understand on a biological level what happens when we experience negative feedback, she explained. Our amygdala fires, our cortisol levels spike, and our brain registers it as a threat. That's why internet comments can feel physically painful. But knowing that gives me power. I can recognize, my brain is perceiving danger, but this is just a tweet. This neurobiological insight underpins much of her resilience. Rather than react emotionally, Bialik uses logic and mindfulness to reset her internal dialogue. She also credits years of therapy and meditation practice with helping her maintain balance. Leaning on community and Ken Jennings, another key to Bialik's coping mechanism: community. Specifically, the people who understand firsthand the whirlwind of stepping into Trebek's shoes. Ken Jennings and I lean on each other a lot, she said. We text after tapings. We vent about critiques. Ken is phenomenal at reminding me not to take things personally, and I hope I do the same for him. Jennings, often praised for his approachable and breezy style, has faced his own share of scrutiny. Together, the co-hosts have cultivated a bond forged not just by their love of trivia, but by their shared experience of navigating the expectations of a fiercely passionate fanbase. Having someone else who knows exactly what you're going through is invaluable, Bialik emphasized. It's a lifeline. Embracing imperfection. One of the most profound shifts Bialik says she's made is embracing the idea of imperfection, a stark contrast to the rigid expectations she once placed on herself as an academic and performer. I used to think I had to nail every delivery, every word, she admitted. Now I've accepted that hosting is fluid. Even Alex flubbed clues sometimes. Even he laughed at himself. I've learned to let go of perfection and instead focus on presence. That shift hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans have remarked that Bialik seems more relaxed and natural at the podium than when she first started. Her warm asides to contestants and genuine curiosity about their anecdotes have become hallmarks of her style. Looking forward, the long game. So where does Mayim Bialik see herself in the future of Jeopardy? Her answer is both humble and pragmatic. I know that hosting Jeopardy is not